Anything would be better than what's happening right now.
Ahead of a city hearing, the Office of Inspector General calls the city of New Orleans out for how it has handled code violations at Plaza Tower.
With multiple calls for service, fires, and a falling death this year alone, the OIG estimates the city could ask the building's owner for more than $1 million for the problems at that site.
Maddie Kurth joins us with the story.
For more than 2 decades now, the property has sat undeveloped on Howard Avenue, falling debris causing major concerns for neighboring residents and workers. A lawsuit has kept the city from further enforcing code violations, but now that the appeal process is through, the OIG suggests a firm hand.
And I don't understand why he can't be held accountable. The rest of us would be held accountable for something like this. And this is a major safety issue.
Ann Wolf joins the Office of the Inspector General in criticizing the owner of Plaza Tower, Joe Yeager, and the city of New Orleans for missing the mark on maintaining safety near the abandoned skyscraper. In 2021, the city fined Yeager $4,075, citing 11 different code violations with a $250 fee for every day the violations were not resolved after a 30-day grace period. But in a public letter released Monday, Inspector General Ed Michel called on the city to further fine Yeager, who Michel says has made no effort to renovate the property in more than 6 years.
Apparently haven't made any substantial changes to anything. The only permit that they've obtained is a permit to encase the top of the building with a safety net because they realize that there's a real threat that the top of the building may continue to break off and fall off in pieces. So that's pretty obvious that the owners recognize the safety threats that their building poses, but the city's not doing anything to compel the owners to follow the city policies and rules.
Michel cites more than 170 calls to 911 for criminal activity from January 2021 to July 2023. That's a 2.5-year span.
That's a significant drain on manpower, and that's not police officers coming from all over the city. That's police officers coming from one district, which means that the rest of the district is suffering because the police are having to be deployed in that particular area as frequently as they are.
I just think, we already have a housing shortage nationwide, and New Orleans is no exception. A lot of people are, temporarily living in there. That can't be safe for them. It's just, and not to mention, again, just the safety of the building itself, which is falling apart.
The next step comes Tuesday, when a cost hearing will determine how much money the city has paid as a result of the building's blight. Michel further suggests the ownership should be placed elsewhere and development closely monitored by the city to put an end to the years of hazardous conditions above Howard Avenue.
I don't see that coming anytime soon, but I would love to see it.
I reached out to Yeager's lawyers for comment, but have not heard back. Inspector General Ed Michel says the city has the potential to recover more than $1 million in fines for those violations that sat in litigation since November of 2021, though it will be up to tomorrow's hearing officer to determine the final amount.